Imagine for a second that your body is a car, a vintage model, actually. But here's the catch: you didn't pick it out. It was a gift or maybe an inheritance from your parents. And the terrifying part, one day your grandchildren are going to have to drive it.
That is a terrifying thought considering how most of us drive. We treat our bodies like rentals we took the extra insurance on. We redline the engine, pour in the cheapest oil possible, and then act surprised when smoke starts pouring out from under the hood.
Exactly. And when that engine finally blows, what's the first thing we say? Oh, well, bad engines just run in my family. It's almost comforting, isn't it, to blame the manufacturing?
It is comforting, but it's also a trap. We confuse genetics with habits. We say diabetes runs in my family or heart disease runs in my family. And sure, there is a genetic component, but often what actually runs in the family is the same pantry, the same recipes, the same stress levels.
That's a powerful distinction. We inherit the menu, not just the metabolism. I have to remember this one, diabetes runs in your pantry, not just in your family.
Right. Think of it this way: genetics load the gun, but your daily choices pull the trigger. Just because you have the gun doesn't mean it has to go off. But if you copy paste your parents' lifestyle, if you eat the same, sit the same, use the same excuses for not exercising, and worry the same, you're giving those genes every opportunity to manifest the same diseases.
So we're essentially repeating a script we didn't write, but let's pivot to the spiritual side of this. The text we're looking at today dives into what the Bible actually says about this. And spoiler alert, I don't think Leviticus had a section on keto versus paleo.
No, definitely not. The Bible doesn't give us a fad diet. What it gives us is a posture. It frames food as a gift, not a God. It's meant to fuel you, not rule you. The problem is, for many of us, food has become the primary way we cope with life.
It's the stewardship concept, right? But that word usually makes people think of tithes and offerings, not what's on their dinner plate.
Exactly. But look at 1 Corinthians. Your body is a temple. A temple isn't just a building, it's a place where the Spirit dwells. If I loaned you my car and you returned it with trash in the back seat, dents in the bumper, and the check engine light on, I'd say you were a bad steward. God gives us these bodies as loaners. We don't own them, we manage them.
That hits hard. We treat our bodies like rental cars. We drive them hard, dirty it up, and hit speed bumps like the Dukes of Hazzard, and then expect to just pick up another one whenever we need it. Don't trash the loaner because it doesn't work like rental cars. But let's talk about the tool that nobody wants to use: fasting. In modern culture, that just sounds like starvation with a halo.
Or a hunger strike to twist God's arm. If I'm miserable enough, maybe God will give me that job. That's not biblical fasting. Biblical fasting is voluntarily laying down a physical need to wake up a spiritual hunger. It's saying bread isn't my source, God is.
It seems like we've lost that art. We treat it as a religious checkbox.
We do. And we miss the physical benefits too. Fasting is a reset button. It gives your digestion a break, cleans up damaged cells, and most importantly, it exposes your idols. You don't realize how addicted you are to comfort until you try to go 24 hours without it. If you can't tell your stomach not yet, how are you going to tell your flesh no when it really matters?
That's the connection to the younger generation, isn't it? If we just tell a teenager like fast for 21 days to get closer to God, they check out
Immediately, because it sounds abstract. But if you tell a 16-year-old, hey, this will help clear that brain fog, lower your anxiety, and prove to yourself that you aren't a slave to your impulses. Now you're speaking their language. Fasting disrupts the pattern. It breaks the cycle of I feel bad, so I eat, so I feel worse.
Speaking of patterns, we have to touch on movement because in biblical times, nobody needed a gym membership.
No, because survival was the workout. They walked everywhere, carried water, farmed. Movement was life. Today we have engineered movement out of our lives. We sit in a car, to sit at a desk, to sit on a couch. Our bodies are revolting because they were designed for action.
So exercise isn't about vanity.
Not at all. It's about service. You exercise so you have the energy to do what God called you to do. If you're exhausted by 2 p.m. every day because of poor maintenance, you're limiting your own ministry. It's hard to serve others when you're barely surviving yourself.
It brings us back to that car analogy. We are the drivers right now, but we are also writing the manual for the next generation.
That's the crux of it. You might have your parents' genes, but you don't have to keep their habits. You can be the one who says the cycle stops with me. It's not about being a fitness model. It's about deciding that when you hand the keys to your children or grandchildren, You're handing them a vehicle that's been cared for and a set of instructions that leads to life, not disease.
That's a heavy but hopeful responsibility. Genes are the first draft, but we do the editing.
Beautifully put. We do the editing, and we have the Holy Spirit to help us make those edits, one meal and one walk at a time.
A powerful place to leave it. To our listeners, check your engine light this week. It might be time for some maintenance. Thanks for listening.
You should check out our podcast on family culture. We talk more about breaking the cycle and changing the family curse to a family legacy. Have a fantastic day.